Today I'm going to talk about the first 12 exercises of the book, Advanced Techniques for Modern Drummer. It's an awesome book. It was first published in 1948 by the great Jim Chapin, and it's still relevant today. If you want to learn how to play jazz, this book is a great place to start. But I'm going to go through the exercises not in chronological order, but in an order that I feel will help beginners start at a simpler place. So I'm going to start with actually exercise 2 on page 4. And what it is, basically, you're playing obviously a jazz pattern on your ride, 2 and 4 on the hi-hat, but this time the snare drum is going to play the exact same thing as the ride cymbal. Here we go. Next, I'm going to go to exercise 10 on page number 6. Here we go. Next to exercise 11 on page 6. Here we go. Then on to exercise 12. 12 is basically the combination of exercises 10 and 11. So here we go. So now I'm going to go over to page 6, or excuse me, to page 5, and we're going to practice exercise 6. Here we go. Now on to exercise 7 on page 5. Now to exercise 4 on page 5. Now on to exercise 5 from page 5. Now to exercise 3 on page 4. Next will be exercise 9 on page 6. Then on to exercise 8 on page 6 as well. And lastly, exercise 1 on page 4. Now you can also do all these exercises with your foot, and I encourage that as well. So those are the 12 exercises. I would start practicing those in that order. I found that works best with a lot of students I've worked with over the years. And then practice them at different tempos. With a metronome is always encouraged. If you can, play with a metronome. That's very important. And then another way to practice after you've mastered those exercises is to play them in order. So I'll just do the first 3, right? Number 2, number 10, and 11. And what you can do is you can play 2 measures of an exercise, 2 measures of just time, meaning pulling your weak hand out, and then adding in playing the next exercise for 2 measures, and then 2 measures without it. 2 measures of time, 2 measures of exercise, 2 measures of time, 2 measures of exercise. All the while, you're always keeping the ride and the hi-hat going. You're keeping that jazz pattern going. So, here we go. and so on down the line until you get to the last exercise, which I think was exercise 1. I hope that's helped, and happy practicing.